Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English with Liam and Lilly, the place where learning English feels natural, comfortable, and enjoyable. I'm Lilly.
Hello, Lily. Hello, everyone. I'm Liam. You are highly welcome.
Today's topic is very interesting because it touches something almost every English learner experiences, something that many people don't talk about enough: how to forgive your tongue for making mistakes.
I really like that title. Not how to stop making mistakes, not how to speak perfect English, but how to forgive your tongue. That's powerful.
It really is, because many learners are not struggling with English itself. They're struggling with how they feel after making mistakes.
Exactly. Sometimes the biggest problem isn't the mistake. The biggest problem is the embarrassment that comes after the mistake.
Yes, you say one wrong word, you pronounce something incorrectly, you mix up your grammar, and suddenly your confidence disappears.
And then a little voice inside your head says, "That was terrible. You sounded foolish. You should have known better. Don't speak again."
Oh yes, that little voice can be very loud. Audience, have you ever experienced that? Maybe you finally gathered enough courage to speak English. Maybe you answered a question in class. Maybe you spoke with a friend. Maybe you joined an online conversation. And then you made a small mistake. Suddenly, instead of being proud that you spoke English, you spent the rest of the day thinking about that one mistake.
I think many listeners are nodding right now because we've all done it. Even native speakers make mistakes and replay conversations in their heads.
That's true. And today, we want to help you change the way you think about mistakes, because mistakes are not enemies. They are teachers.
Let's say that again. Mistakes are not enemies. They are teachers.
Wonderful. And listeners, here's an important word for today: forgive. Forgive means to stop being angry or upset about something.
For example, I forgive my friend, meaning I choose not to stay angry.
Exactly. But today, we're talking about forgiving yourself, forgiving your tongue, forgiving your mouth when the wrong words come out.
I love that image. Imagine your tongue as a student trying very hard to learn a new language. Would you scream at that student every time they made a mistake?
Of course not. You would encourage them. You would say, "Good job for trying. Keep practicing. You'll improve."
But strangely, many English learners are kinder to other people than they are to themselves.
That's such an important point. If your friend said, "I goed to school yesterday," you probably wouldn't laugh at them. You'd simply understand they meant, "I went to school yesterday."
Exactly. You would appreciate their effort. Yet when you make a similar mistake, you might feel ashamed.
Let's teach another useful word. The word is effort. Effort means the energy and work you put into doing something.
Example, learning English requires effort.
Very good. And every time you speak English, you are making an effort. That effort deserves respect.
Not punishment. Respect.
Beautifully said. Now, Liam, let me ask you something. Why do you think learners are so afraid of mistakes?
That's a great question. I think there are several reasons. One reason is comparison. People compare themselves to fluent speakers.
Oh yes, comparison can be dangerous.
A beginner hears someone speaking English smoothly, then they think, "Why can't I speak like that? What is wrong with me?"
But what they don't see is the years of practice behind that fluency.
Exactly. They're comparing their chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20.
Audience, that's a wonderful expression. Let's explain it. When someone says, "Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20, they mean, don't compare your beginning to someone else's advanced stage.
Everyone starts somewhere. Nobody is born speaking perfect English.
Nobody, not even native speakers, speak perfectly all the time.
That's true. People forget that language is messy. People pause, people forget words, people use the wrong words sometimes. People pronounce things differently.
And that's normal. Let's introduce another useful expression, to be hard on yourself.
Good one. To be hard on yourself means to judge yourself too severely.
Example, Maria is too hard on herself when she speaks English.
Meaning Maria expects perfection and criticizes herself too much.
Listeners, are you hard on yourself? Think honestly. When you make a mistake, what do you tell yourself? Do you say, I am learning? Or do you say, I am terrible?
The words you say to yourself matter because confidence grows from your inner conversations.
Exactly. And here's something fascinating. Children learn languages by making thousands of mistakes. Thousands.
Can you imagine if children stopped speaking after every mistake?
They would never learn.
A child might say something incorrectly today, then a little better tomorrow, then even better next week.
The child keeps speaking, keeps experimenting, keeps learning, keeps growing.
But adults often expect perfection immediately.
And that's unfair. Learning a language is a journey, not a performance.
Wow, that's worth repeating. Learning a language is a journey, not a performance.
Dear listeners, if you remember only one thing from today's episode so far, remember this. Your mistakes do not prove that you're bad at English. Your mistakes prove that you're using English.
And using English is exactly how improvement happens.
Your mistakes are not proof of failure. They are proof that you are learning.
Exactly. And now let's answer a question that many learners secretly ask themselves. Why does my tongue keep making mistakes?
That's a great question. Sometimes learners know the correct word. They know the grammar. They understand the lesson. But when they start speaking, the wrong word suddenly comes out.
Has that ever happened to you, Lily?
Many times, even now. Sometimes I know exactly what I want to say, but my mouth says something completely different.
Me too. And listeners, this happens to everyone, not only English learners. Native speakers do it too.
Absolutely. Sometimes native speakers mix up names, forget words, use the wrong tense, or accidentally say one thing when they mean another.
That's because speaking is actually a very complicated process. Much more complicated than most people realize.
Let's think about what happens when you speak. First, your brain creates an idea. Then it searches for the correct words. Then it organizes those words into a sentence. Then it sends instructions to your mouth and tongue. Then your tongue moves to create sounds.
And all of that happens in just a few seconds, sometimes even faster.
Exactly. That's why mistakes happen. Your brain is working very hard.
Let's teach a useful word here. The word is process.
Good choice. A process is a series of actions that happen to achieve a result.
Example, learning English is a process.
Meaning it takes time and happens step by step.
And speaking English is also a process. Your brain is constantly working behind the scenes.
Audience, here's something interesting. Many learners think if I make mistakes, it means I don't know English, but that's not true.
Not at all. Sometimes mistakes happen because your brain is learning to use new information.
Imagine learning to ride a bicycle. Would you expect to ride perfectly on the first day?
Of course not. You might wobble. You might lose balance. You might even fall.
But falling doesn't mean you're incapable of riding a bicycle. It means you're learning.
Exactly. And language works the same way. Speaking mistakes are often signs that your brain is practicing a new skill.
Let's introduce another useful word, progress.
I love that word. Progress means moving forward or improving over time.
Example, I am making progress in English.
Notice something important. Progress does not mean perfection.
Wow, let's say that again. Progress does not mean perfection.
Many learners confuse those two ideas.
Yes, they think if I still make mistakes, I'm not improving, but that's simply not true.
A learner who makes 10 mistakes today may make only 5 next month. That's progress.
A learner who was afraid to speak yesterday but speaks today has made progress.
A learner who learns 5 new words this week has made progress.
Progress can be small, but small progress is still progress.
Listeners, here's a question. Do you celebrate your progress, or do you only notice your mistakes?
That's an important question, because what you focus on grows.
If you focus only on mistakes, you'll feel discouraged.
But if you notice improvement, you'll feel motivated.
Let's teach another useful word, discouraged.
Good one. Discouraged means feeling less confident or less hopeful.
Example, I felt discouraged after making a mistake.
But remember, one mistake should never define your entire learning journey.
Never. In fact, some of the best learners make lots of mistakes.
Because they're willing to speak, willing to try, willing to practice.
And that's where growth happens, outside your comfort zone.
Audience, let's talk about another common problem. Many learners replay mistakes in their minds.
Oh yes, someone says one wrong sentence, then they spend hours thinking about it.
Sometimes even days.
Have you noticed that? You make one small mistake and suddenly it feels enormous.
Let's teach a useful expression, to blow something out of proportion.
Excellent expression. It means to make something seem much bigger or more serious than it really is.
Example, don't blow the mistake out of proportion.
Meaning, don't make it seem bigger than it actually is.
Because often the listener barely notices the mistake.
That's true. Many learners think everyone is analyzing every word they say.
But most people are simply listening to the message, not searching for errors.
Let's imagine this situation. You say, I go to the market yesterday.
Not perfect grammar, but can people understand you?
Most likely, yes.
Communication happened. Communication is the main goal of language.
Exactly. Perfection is not the goal. Connection is the goal.
Wow, I love that. Perfection is not the goal. Connection is the goal.
Because language exists to help people understand one another, not to help people win grammar competitions.
That's true. Most conversations are about understanding, sharing ideas, building friendships, and expressing feelings.
Not about being perfect.
Let's introduce another vocabulary word, communicate.
Communicate means to share information, thoughts, or feelings with others.
Example, she communicates clearly in English.
Notice that the sentence doesn't say, she communicates perfectly.
Exactly. Clear communication matters more than flawless communication.
Listeners, here's something I'd like you to remember.
Every fluent speaker you admire has made thousands of mistakes. Thousands.
Some made grammar mistakes. Some made pronunciation mistakes. Some used words incorrectly. Some felt embarrassed.
But they kept speaking.
That's the secret. Not perfection, persistence.
Another great vocabulary word, persistence.
Persistence means continuing even when something is difficult.
Example, her persistence helped her become fluent in English.
And persistence is often more important than talent.
Absolutely. A learner who keeps practicing usually improves faster than someone who waits to be perfect before speaking.
Dear listeners, if your tongue makes mistakes, don't treat it like an enemy. Treat it like a teammate that is learning, a teammate that is improving, a teammate that needs encouragement.
Because the more you encourage yourself, the more confident you'll become. Now let's talk about something practical. What should you do immediately after making a mistake?
That's the question many listeners are waiting for, because knowing mistakes are normal is one thing, actually feeling okay after a mistake is another thing.
Exactly. So let's imagine a situation. You're speaking English with someone. You make a mistake. Maybe you use the wrong word. Maybe you forget a tense. Maybe your pronunciation isn't perfect. What happens next?
For many learners, panic happens next.
Yes, panic, embarrassment, self-criticism, and sometimes complete silence.
Some learners stop speaking altogether.
But today, we're going to replace that reaction with a healthier one.
The first step is simple. Pause. Notice the mistake, and then continue speaking.
That's important. Continue speaking. Don't abandon the conversation because of one error.
Imagine a football player missing one pass. Would they leave the field immediately?
Of course not. They keep playing.
Exactly. Good speakers do the same thing. They keep communicating.
Let's teach an important word. Resilient.
Wonderful word. Resilient means able to recover quickly from difficulties or setbacks.
Example, successful language learners are resilient.
Meaning they don't give up when things go wrong.
Now let's share some powerful sentences listeners can say to themselves after making a mistake.
These are confidence-building phrases.
Phrase number 1. It's okay, I'm still learning.
Simple, gentle, encouraging.
Phrase number 2. Every mistake teaches me something.
I love that one because it turns mistakes into lessons. Phrase number 3. I communicated successfully.
That's a powerful mindset. Instead of asking, was my English perfect? Ask, did people understand me?
Exactly. If the answer is yes, then communication happened.
And that's a victory.
Phrase number 4. I am improving every time I practice.
Because improvement comes from repetition, not perfection.
Listeners, here's a challenge. The next time you make an English mistake, don't insult yourself. Don't call yourself stupid. Don't tell yourself you'll never improve.
Instead, speak to yourself like a good teacher would.
Or like a good friend would.
Imagine your best friend is learning English. They make a mistake. Would you say, you're hopeless?
Never.
You'd probably say, that's okay, keep going.
Then why not offer the same kindness to yourself?
That's a great question, because self-kindness is not weakness, it's strength.
Let's teach another useful expression. Give yourself grace.
A beautiful expression. To give yourself grace means to be patient, understanding, and forgiving towards yourself.
Example, give yourself grace while learning English.
Because language learning takes time.
Weeks, months, sometimes years.
And that's perfectly normal.
Now, before we finish today's episode, let's review some key ideas.
Number 1. Mistakes do not mean you are bad at English.
Number 2, mistakes are evidence that you're practicing.
Number 3. Progress is more important than perfection.
Number 4, communication matters more than flawless grammar.
And number 5. Treat yourself with patience and kindness.
Listeners, if you've been carrying embarrassment from old mistakes, we hope today's conversation helps you let some of that go.
Your English journey doesn't need a perfect tongue.
Your English journey needs a brave tongue.
Your English journey needs a tongue willing to try.
Your English journey needs a tongue willing to learn.
Your English journey needs a tongue willing to make mistakes and keep moving forward.
And every time you speak English, you're becoming stronger.
One sentence at a time.
One conversation at a time.
One mistake at a time.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today.
We truly appreciate every single listener in our English with Liam and Lilly family.
If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a new lesson.
And if this episode helped you feel more confident about making mistakes, leave a comment and tell us what English mistake taught you an important lesson.
We would love to hear your story.
Until next time,
Keep learning.
keep practicing.
And most importantly, be kind to yourself and keep speaking English.